Okay, we're gonna be watching DuhaiMursho, though it says to call them Medica, who's going to be playing Tank on King's Row. This is Masters 4 on PC. And I think they're going to be playing Sigma briefly, and then mostly Winston with some Zarya in here as well, and a little bit of Ramattra. Alright, Masters 4 Tank VOD Review Quest. Got banned from my main for toxicity, not a good sign. So I made a fresh account and got to Masters 4. There are times where I play really well and times where I don't know what is going on. I keep forgetting about what my job is as a tank and when to take space and when to reset. My Winston is incredibly bad. I don't know where to position and when to strike. I hope that I can get my mistakes pointed out so I can improve and get the Grandmasters. I mainly play Ramattra and Sigma. I've already done a pre-watch of this video. I think your Winston is not that bad. I think specifically you have a lot of trouble getting hit by Rein, but other than that, I think your Winston is actually not that bad. I think your Zarya play looks worse, and I think your Ramattra play looks worse too. Of the heroes you play, I think Winston actually went the best for you. But let's kind of roll this and we'll talk through all these things. We open a Sigma, by the way. King's Row is like a classic brawl map. Dive is possible. Definitely not my first choice at all, but typically it's very, very brawly with a little bit of poke. I think Sigma's viable here. I think Zarya's great here. Rein's great here. Arisa's good here. Ramattra's good here. But like Winston, D.Va, not the best on this map, I would say. Come forward. So you're being way too aggressive right off the bat. You also jump a lot, and it drives me absolutely crazy. But you're already in Masters, so if you don't know why jumping is bad, I'm not going to explain to you. It's literally not worth my time to try to explain why jumping is bad for you. The reason why you get away with it is because you're a tank, so you have more health. But in general, like there's going to be a lot of mistakes here related to your jumping. So you kind of go straight through. One of the most important things in King's Row for the very first fight is, do they have a Mei? It's very, very, very common. I would say this point more than any other point in the entire game for Mei to be playing here or here on this point, first point. So until you can see, I think it's like 10 seconds of the game where you can see all the enemy heroes, or you've confirmed both DPS, do not walk through this choke, right? All you've seen so far is a soldier. There's a DPS that's missing. The Rein is playing suspiciously far back. Right? If the Rein's playing here, okay, like it's a different story, right? But the Rein's playing really, really far back. He doesn't want to be playing here, you know? Like you're a Sigma versus Rein. Why would he be playing this far back? So I get incredibly suspicious here that there is a Mei. And of course, you just jump through the choke. As soon as the Rein starts walking forward, you shield off the Rein for some reason, as though that's going to do something. You get walled off. Okay? The only reason you don't die here is because you get Suzu'd. Right? Your Kiriko does a really good job Suzuing you to keep you alive. Then you use Grasp, despite the fact that you're getting shot by a beam and a hammer right now, so like what's this Grasp gonna do? Your Baptiste does a great job lamping you here. Like you got all the help here in a very short amount of time to keep you alive. This is 100% a death by you. Yeah, just really, really bad play. Just basic stuff like, hey, have you ever played King's Row before? You check for the Mei, right? Confirm there is no Mei before you do anything. So after that, like your support save you, which is great. Recognize that, hey, they both are going to have their important abilities on cooldown because you just saw them used to keep you alive. So you see 7 to 18 seconds until they can help you. So you got to be chill right now. Instead, you decide at half health that you're going to walk through the choke, face tank this Rein. The Mei is still there, right? And then you get walled again. And this time, right, it's like Suzu comes out too late because she doesn't have it and there's no lamp and you die here. I don't really know what's going on because you're going to play better in the rest of this game, but I suspect there's like a mental problem like on your side in terms of you're just way too impatient. You know? It's like, look, you just got saved from a massive misplay by you, right? Like you should feel incredibly grateful to your team. Like that was a hell of a play by both the supports. Like this is not like low Masters level supports. Like this is a very, very strong play by them to keep you alive because you made a massive mistake. And then you survive here, and then you reward your supports by immediately throwing your life away again. Like how there's no critical thinking here, you know? It's like you're half health right now. Your supports have no important cooldowns, and your Mei's still alive. And it's been long enough that the Mei wall is going to be there again. And you're walking even without the Mei. Forget the Mei for a second, okay? Why are you walking point blank into this Rein's face? Like think about it. If you're playing from the Rein's perspective, cool. All right, he's like, okay, right, whatever. I'm gonna sit here. Then you just walk into him. He's thrilled. This is great. This is exactly what I want as Rein. Like, why would you be doing this? You know, I don't get it, and I don't really know how to explain it any other way other than like for the enemy hero has a close range attack. You have a long range attack. Why are you walking into him to attack him? Like he does more damage per second than you, and he's a lot tankier. This doesn't make any sense. Anyways, you're gonna die here. And then you swap to Winston for whatever reason. Fine. You're gonna come through, and then you're gonna zap this Rein, and you're gonna make a series of mistakes here because once again you walk straight into the Rein. So Rein's swing has like I think a 5-meter range, and then Winston Tesla can has an 8-meter range. So why are you doing this? Like you can just zap him from here. Like, you don't need to be this close where he's constantly farming ult charge on you. Look at the ult charge difference. Their Rein has almost 80% ult right now, and you're only at 33. Like, the Rein is literally over almost 3 times, or 2.5 times your ult charge. Like, this is absolutely crazy. Right? Just because you're constantly walking into him, so he's just farming ulti off of you. Like, frankly, like you end up losing this game, but this game should have been a complete roll, because it doesn't look like you know what you're doing on tank. Again, just play far out from the corner. Force the Rein to walk forwards to come get you, and then your team can shoot him. But as long as you play this tight corner, your Hanzo can't attack him at all. So you jump behind him. I think this is actually a good call in this situation because the Rein got low, and you're going to bubble off the support. So I think this is the right call. Right? Rein steps forward. I think it's the right call to chase 2 here with the Rein because he's low. Right? The support's still bubbled off. This jump I would not do. I would not expect that I would be able to get the kill here. I would have paused, like reloaded, and just waited to see what happens in the backline right now. Because you can see your Genji is in, so I chill for a second, right? Reload. I'm reloading anyway, right? Just chill for a second, and then go in if it appears that the Ana's not going to be able to heal. Right? But you see how the Rein doesn't actually die here, but he definitely could have killed you, or the soldier could have killed you. Anybody there could have done a lot of damage to you with that last jump. So you jump in right now. I think this is okay. The Ana's low. I don't love this. I think the Rein should just charge and kill you right away. Then you leave the bubble, which is, I think, also a questionable decision. But you managed to get out. Alright, I don't do this. Again, that Rein is very, very anti-charge. He should be charging you way more often. You bubble here to keep yourself alive, which I understand, but now you wasted your bubble, so you can't really do anything for the next 8 seconds. Yep, just get back. Just chill. I don't think you should bubble there, right? It's not that big a deal. You're not in any real risk of dying. I think you're going to need this bubble later. And then you walk into the Rein again, right? Again, the Rein, you can see the Rein's walking forwards. You're walking forwards too. The Rein hits you with the thing. Like, this shouldn't happen. Like, the Rein hits you so often, and then you do a bad jump, and then you die. It's actually crazy. Like, the Rein should have shattered to help win some of these fights, because he's just farming so much ult charge off of you. So, I don't know why you jump in here. Right? You have no idea what's on the other side. You jump onto the Rein for some reason, which is not your job to deal with this as a tank at all. Like, it's like kind of weird as Winston, like, stop going for the tank. You know, go for the back line. Right? You go for the Ana here. Watching this. So this is like okay. It's actually interesting that popping ulti before hitting the ground still does the slam. Does it? Oh, I just want to confirm this. Yeah, it does do the slam damage. Okay. So, you slam, you hit the Ana, you lose track of her, you go for the soldier. It's pretty good juggling here. Gets the Mega, which is unfortunate, but you're going to kill him here, so that's fine. That's a good little quick jump. Ana should, or Kiriko should heal you, she's not. I think that was a tricky jump. I kind of understand, I think it's not bad actually. Melee, great. I don't know why you're zapping her right now. Like, you see how you go through all of your ammo? Like, just reload, right? When she's blocked, just reload and you kill her as she comes out of it. Going for the Ana, great. So, Rein's here. You want to stay in line of sight for your supports to heal. I don't think you should have gone all the way back, right? I think just standing here for a second, Kiriko heals you, and then play this corner, and force them to have to take that space away from you. So you coming back to point, there's 4 on point, right? Max cap speed is 3, so it's not like you're helping at all. You should be holding this space. Rein manages to get on point. Stall continues. You going for the Mei. You really should have gone for the Ana. You saw the Ana on the way in, by the way. Go for the Mei. She's going to block. Great. So you can soul this Mei, yep. I think what would have been a better idea would have been to stay here and just zap, right? And then just like stay with her and force her to like not be able to wall you off, and then do like a quick jump and killer. Like you should have known the wall was coming. So right there, you should be charging right click. You see your Genji's in, right? Just charge right click here. Charge. The second you turn around this corner, 50 burst damage. Right? You end up getting a kill anyway, but like little things like that can make a difference, right? Supports might have been able to get there in time. You never know. I like this position. Again, like I think after the beginning, I think you play a lot better. But like at the beginning, your play looks really bad. Kiriko's healing you. Right, this is fine. I think you should be contesting the Rein right now. I think the soldier's already sort of got an angle on you. I think it's fine to just go over here and just zap the Rein, you know? You're like basically full health anyway. Your Kiriko's here to heal you. Like zap, put pressure on the Rein. Right? Bubble him off, do something. I don't think playing it's not like you're hiding, right? They know you're here. You should be fighting the Rein right now. Right? You get helixed off. Again, when you jump into the Rein, try to stay out of hammer range. Like you could just drop here, put hammer down, or put a bubble down, and then zap them from here. And because you wait so long to attack this Rein, the Ana's been able to come up and is able to pop nano. You're very lucky to not get charged there. That jump obviously was bad. The Rein was already dead. Right. Stay to the right of the wall. Go in. Yep, that's good. You, by the way, saw the soldier to the right by the Mega. He's doing a third party. For people who don't know, the soldier is doing an emote so he can see around corners. So he's going to stand here. Emotes, right? That way you can see around it. He's going to do this trick later to get some kills. Everyone's just waiting for the cart. This is fine. Once again, look, the Rein's at 85%. Just stay out of range of his hammer. Like, why do you walk into him repeatedly? Like, this Kiriko is way out of range for you. There's just no way. Just stay out of range of the swing. It's so sloppy, right? The Rein comes out at 85% ulti, right? And then you're going to feed him all the way up to 92. So I don't know that I agree with trying to go out this window. There's no reason to be going out this window, okay? This platform, furthest you should go. And recognize, hey, look, these two are super extended, right? They clearly have to go up early to try to contest. You should already be there on the Brig and the Rein. You know, you're showing up to this fight late. I would say overall, I think your team is better than theirs, but you are worse than the opposing tank, is what I've kind of read. So you jump in here. Keep in mind that there's two people dead right now, so this is a 3-on-5 situation, and you're about to cap. You pop Primal here, which is a huge waste of Primal. Like, this is a massive waste of Primal. I have no idea what you were trying to accomplish here. Like, great, you get a kill, but she's going to spawn, like, a few seconds later, and the cart still needs to move a long way. Also, there's no reason for this Kiriko to die. I would never expect in a million years that this Kiriko should die here. Okay? So she has Suzu, right? She has Swift Step right now. She's still a Swift Step. She's still a Swift Step. She's still, like, it's not like you burst her down. She had so much time to just Swift Step to the soldier, and then she was totally fine. And then you would have gotten literally no value from this Primal. By the way, also, look how much ult charge you feed this soldier. He's at 75 right now. 78, 79, 80, 82, 85, 88, 89, 90, 92, 94. Right? 95, 96. So, you fed him a quarter of his ult just with your Primal. Like, it literally would have been better if you just Primaled and walked off the map than what you actually did with this Primal. That kill that you had on the Kiriko did absolutely nothing. Obviously, the best thing would have been to not use Primal at all, but if you're going to use Primal, walking off the map would have been better than trying to kill people with it, because it was just not the right time, and you fed a ton of ult charge. And now Soldier is Visor, and now you're seeing him do that. Once again, you're stuck in close range with the Rein. Generally, if you're getting swung at Rein as a Winston, you're probably doing something wrong. You need to get out right now. Instead, you stay. Charge comes in. Reset territory. You should be charging right clicks. Right? See, this is a better job. Like, stay outside of the Rein swing range. By the way, your jumping is one of the reasons why it makes it hard. Because if you jump forwards, you're committed to that movement. So if the Rein steps forward while you're jumping, you can't back up. So the dance should be, I step forward to zap. Oh, he steps forward, I step backwards. I step forward, I step backwards. Okay? But if you jump, it's really hard to control that back and forth dancing movement, which is very, very sloppy, right? And I think it's really unfortunate that you've gotten to Masters and have not kicked this habit of constantly jumping. To be clear, I mean like regular spacebar jumping, not Winston jumping. So I think it's reasonable to go for the soldier here, but I also think that I would have like theoretically probably gone for the Kiriko, just because the Rein is still here, so he keeps swinging at me. And again, he's gonna farm ult charge off me, though he loses track of me somehow. That window gets popped. Cool. So that soldier hiding over there, he's gonna pull that off again. Echoes on the back line, doesn't matter. They've gone Zarya, and they've gone Reaper. So I'm gonna go for the Kiriko is okay right now. I would have really loved the charged right click right now. I guess you do it, yeah. Zap she goes, right? Bubble dance. Get out. Yeah, I think this is a good call. Soldier behind you. He was hiding in the back with his emote. Go for the soldier. You check. Right, you're like, oh, he's back here. I think this is a good chase down. I don't think bubble was useful. Like, obviously you're at point blank with the soldier. This bubble's not gonna do a thing. This is another terrible primal. Right? Like, your team is down 2 or 3 right now. Right? So you have only 3 up here, so you're down 2 right now, and you're low health, and you're close to your spawn. Even if you die right now, it's not a big deal. Just die. It's okay. Right? Who cares if you die? Instead, you just farm, feed Zarya energy charge, and you feed a bunch of ult charge here. You know, Zarya's 57, 60, 63, right? 66, 67, 74. Like, the amount of ult charge that you feed to the enemies is absolutely bonkers. And I'm pretty sure that's probably the reason why you're like, oh, why am I losing on Winston? Like, it feels like the other team always has ultimates, and like they always have more impactful ultimates, because you're feeding so much more ult charge than you should, right? You feed like basically 20% plus of ult charge right here to the Zarya alone. Alright, so that's another bad primal. Go for the Kiriko. Is this the right time? 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's your 5th player? Okay, yeah, I mean, they're all here. Yeah, this is fine. So, you jump way out, which I don't like. Also, you have no bubble right now. Where did your bubble go? Oh, you put bubble here. Yeah, that's a big mistake. You could just jumped out, been healed, and then come down right now. Like, imagine if you have bubble in this next engagement. You get so much value here, right? You're on both supports. Like, you drop down here, you put bubble, you zap both of them. Zap, 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 zap. They're both forced to focus on you. They can't heal the Zarya, and then you kill the Zarya after that. You decide to give up on the Winston. You go Ramattra. Vortex. Again, feeding ult charge here. Shield. I don't think that's a great shield. You actually should have put that shield aggressively because they were clearly backing up. Alright, you're pushing really hard right now, despite the fact that you're down a player. Like, you know, again, it's tough because it's like I don't really know what your journey was to Masters. But there's like a lot of basic mistakes that you're making that I would not expect out of Masters players, right? Or even Diamond players. Like, you're just constantly pushing when you're down people, right? And then now you're forced to pop Nemesis, but back up. I think this is probably one of the worst possible outcomes for Ramattra. Every Nemesis form should result in space creation. If you can't create space with Nemesis, you almost assuredly are going to lose the game. Okay? Like, you popping Nemesis and like backing up here is the exact opposite of what you need to do. Now, obviously, you're low. You have no choice but to back up. But that's because you're popping Nemesis at the wrong time. You could just play this corner, waited for 5, and then push. Right? You're still half health. You just don't seem to care about your health, right? Don't feel like that's relevant at all to your ability to do your job. Now your shield. Fed Zarya bubble a ton there. Alright, Vortex. I think it's the right call to turn right away for the soldier, try to help. But yeah, just really, really tough angle for you to do anything. I mean, at the end of the day, you're just not doing anything to move the space forward, right? Again, waiting for 5 would be hugely advantageous, number 1, right? Number 2, putting shields down at the right time. Like, this shield that you're going to waste after this is like actually a really big one, right? You want every shield to be as aggressive as possible. You know, this shield doesn't really get you any space because your team's still regrouping, and now you don't have shield for a really long time. Like, imagine you're waiting right now. Okay, you come together, you wait for the Hanzo, you wait for the Hanzo to get here. Imagine you just sit around the corner, do nothing, just spam a little bit, right? Then you'd be fine, right? Then you get all 5 people up here right now. Then now, as your team is turning this corner, right? Lamp would never be forced because you wouldn't have been so silly as to take so much damage. Then you throw shield right here, and then you start walking down the team, right? With staff form, and then when you start taking damage, then you pop Nemesis, and then you just punch through everybody. And then you win the fight. Granted, you also lose your other support here, who disconnects for a little bit, but overall, I think that it doesn't feel to me like you know how to play Ramattra, certainly into that lineup. All right, you open a Zarya on defense now. So you see Pharah, which is not a good sign. You see another Zarya. He's up to Bastion, which I think is okay. I'd be a little careful here about the Pharah, because Zarya could move you forwards, for example. Right. Zarya's trying to take Hotel. Bastion doesn't have tank form. I would not have reloaded right there because the Zarya's on your right. So right here, turn and start zapping the Zarya. You 70 ammo right now. This is not the time to be reloading. This is like absolutely critical. Like it may not seem like a big deal, but 70 ammo was massive. Right? That's a huge moment in time where you could have done like 200 something damage to the Zarya and forced her backwards. But because you're not doing damage, she doesn't care. And now the Zarya would be a lot lower and she would be killable. Instead of right now where it's like really, really hard to kill her. Everyone's got to super focus her down. Now I go for the Mercy, which I think is the right call. Don't go too wide with their Bastion. Right? Bastion tank form should be ending any second now. Now, yep, I think now's the right call to push him. Get mini pack. And now they have gone Ball instead of Zarya. And this is where things are going to get worse. I think you're over pursuing right now. Right? Ball knocks you in, which is a great play by him. You try to get back, and then you die. So this way too far, way too deep in. And then the ball makes a good play. I mean, granted, like you didn't know that there was a ball coming back, but like why push so aggressively? You know, just chill a little bit. You don't strike me as a player who has a lot of patience. Like, remember when I talked about the attitude problems from earlier? You are way too impatient. You just want to be like fighting all the time, 100%. Like, go. As soon as you're alive, you want to go out there, you want to fight right away. If you want to get the GM, you have to understand when do I get aggressive and when do I just like take my hands off the keyboard and the mouse if I have to and just chill, right? You would have been far better served just chilling here, right? Just playing this corner, playing safe, right-clicking, zapping anybody staying in range, and just chill, right? Just be patient. But continually, you're either getting picked first or forcing big support abilities when they shouldn't be forced out to keep you alive. Over and over and over again, a complete lack of patience in your gameplay. Like, it feels very, quite frankly, sloppy to me. So you're pushing forward right now. You try to get a contest. Ball bobs you out of the way. Yeah, I think there's no way you can touch this now. So now you're going to play close here, which is the right call. So one thing to note is it is very hard for Zarya to play against Ball. I would say that Ball's probably one of the few picks, whereas Zarya I would strongly consider swapping off right away. Just because it's so difficult. Like, you don't do enough damage, and you have no control abilities for the Ball, and you can't really protect your team from it, because bubbling a person who gets pile driven is not great value. Because pile driver itself doesn't do all that much damage. So you're going to struggle to build energy, you can't protect your team, you can't push the Ball back. Okay? Which means that your goal must be I have to kill the DPS and support in order for this to be viable. But the problem is they have a Pharah who you're basically never going to be able to touch, and they have a Bastion who every 6 out of every 16 seconds is going to obliterate you. So Zarya doesn't feel like the pick anymore. And when I died, I would have swapped, even with 70% Ultra Charge, I would have swapped here. I think literally like any other hero would be a better choice here. I would still probably avoid playing Rein or Zarya. I think Orisa would be fine here. I think Sigma would be fine here. I think Diva would be fine here. Hog would be good here. If you could play Doomfist, I think Doomfist is almost always viable. You got some options here, but I don't think Zarya is the pick. Should finish with right clicks. Always be right clicking. Like this is a great problem where like the Ball has forced your whole team back, and what are you doing? Absolutely nothing. Because what are you gonna do about it as Zarya? You know. There's nothing you can do. So you lose your Moira here. You could have saved her. Right there. So now it's 4 on 5. You're in really bad shape. So if you don't contest soon, you're only going to get one fight here. But realistically, I don't know that you can actually win this. And you make a big mistake against Bastion. Like, he's clearly baiting you. Right? You see how he's like jiggling here. And then he looks around the corner to confirm that there's nobody who can save you. Then he's going to turn right here, and then he's gonna obliterate you. Right? Forces lamp out. Right? This is your fault for getting stuck in the open against Bastion. Right? Bubble gets forced, and then you die. Like, I don't know if you were like the lowest ranked person in this lobby, but it feels like the other players on both their team and your team are better than you. Like this Bastion played this really well. You know, he's poking here. He has tank form, but he's not using it. Checks around the corner. Right? Look. Right? Shooting you a little bit. He confirms. He's like, okay, cool. Nobody there. Now, right, bubble's gonna end. Right? He times it perfectly. Forces this out. Guns you down. Goes through that bubble because he knows that you're super stuck out, and then you die. All right? Really, really good play by the Bastion. Really poor awareness by you. Again, tips against Bastion. 6 seconds up in tank form, 10 seconds down. Bait tank form, hide around a corner. Then when tank form ends, you have 10 seconds to do whatever the heck you want because it's effectively 5-on-4. Very, very important to be pressuring him when he's not in tank form and to bait out tank form as soon as possible. Right? So right here, again, these long open paths where I have no ability to retreat, right? Very, very dangerous. Bastion punishes people who don't know how to take cover, especially tanks. Biggs pop. So he's going for other people. I immediately need to bubble whoever he's attacking, right? It's not me, so it's somebody else. Right? You don't bubble anybody here, despite the fact that he's clearly shooting down teammates. Right? He actually does a bad job here. Forces that out. Attacking you. You pop this. You got LOS the bubble. I think this grab is okay. Yep. I think the grab is fine. Which I think this is the first ultimate that you've used in 13 minutes of gameplay that I thought was actually good. I think every other ultimate, I would say, has been bad. I will say, like, your general, like, FPS mechanics seem good, right? Like, I think that your aim generally is good, your movement is good, your reaction speed is good, like, you can maneuver through the map well, like, that part's all good. So it doesn't surprise me, like, mechanically that you can get here on, like, from an FPS, like, shooter's perspective. It's, like, everything else that's, like, very wonky, right? Once again, stuck in the open. Remember I mentioned this last time, like, getting stuck in the open here against Bastion, that's how you die, right? You get stuck here. Get super, super low. Very lucky that your team is able to keep you alive there. Right? Tank form's ended. Right? You ideally want to be aggressive right now. Alright. Ferris pop. I think good idea to right click, get out of this. Try to get out of that. Yep. I would ignore the ball and kill this Moira. So you saw right there. You see the Moira now, okay? I see the Moira now. Go for the Moira. Like, you're just stop targeting the ball. Like, you're not going to be able to stop the ball. It's not going to be your job as Zarya to stop the ball. And you might say, whose job is it? Well, good question. But the issue is you're not able to do any of the 3 things that you need to do to win against Slen. Okay, number 1, you either have to stop the ball from running over your team. Number 2, you have to stop the cart from moving. Or number 3, you need to kill the squishies on their team. You are doing 0 out of those 3 things, which is why the cart continually moves and why you keep losing fight after fight after fight. Alright? One part is I don't think you've picked the right hero for this situation. Alright? Problem number 2 is I don't think your actual mechanics in terms of reloading, ammo management, target priority, I don't think any of that is good, right? Number 3, I think your ultis are also bad. So, and number 4, I would say positioning is bad too. So it's like a kind of like a storm of all the things that are going wrong here, which is preventing you from slowing down the game at all. Like, this game is not even close. You're getting completely steamrolled here, and the enemy tank looks a lot better. So Moira's going to be low here, waiting for the Mega. You're going to bubble her here, despite the fact that no one's actually targeting her. And you should recognize the fact that if somebody could see her, she would be dead right now, right? She's hiding in a corner, basically stationary, with 25 health. So I would save this bubble charge for when I expect her to get dove, which is right now. And then I would have stayed right here, zapped the Moira, forced that fade. Then, when I heard the ball coming in, I would have bubbled her now. Like, imagine if you bubbled her here, you get 40 energy instantly, and your Moira stays alive, and you can kill this Pharah. 36 ammo right now. You got a chance to zap this Ana, do a lot of damage. Like, if you're going to be there, you might as well step and contest the cart because it's getting out of here is extremely likely. You're very lucky to be able to get out of that. Try to bubble. You didn't have bubble. Like, despite all the fighting that's going on, you're only at 48 energy because your bubbles are not very good. Right? Bubbling at the wrong times, and then once again caught in the open, killed by the Bastion. So you can come out as Ramattra now. I don't think that shield's worth it. Like, Pharah's not going to get kills from that window. Yeah, shoot the Ana, that's great. Bastion's on your right. I think that's surprising that Vortex is no good. I don't think that actually affects him because there's no LOS to the center point. Stop attacking the ball. Please stop attacking the ball. Just kill the rest of the team. Like, if you want to kill the ball, just go Roadhog or Tifa or something. Like, you can't be as lower day range tanks, like, be spending your time trying to kill the ball. Like, that's what he wants, you know? Imagine if you had Vortex right there instead of wasting it. Like, right here, if you had Vortex, you just check the Vortex right here, suck her to the ground, and then you and the Cassidy probably get the kill. And then that's a team fight 1 right there. Right? Like, this is easy. So, Bastion's coming forward. I really won't need to get the cover, because he's going to tank for him here if I stay out in the open. Like, oh man. Cassidy gets a kill here, very lucky. Stop attacking the ball. Stop attacking the ball. It's just, you're not going to do anything here. Like, just be farm ulti off the squishies. Right, again, lots of jumping. Right, trying to poke out the... It's no awareness of health. Like, yeah, you're doing a good job tracking the Bastion, but who cares? You're at 171 health out. How have you not shielded yet? You're so low! And you probably, like, expected you were going to get healing, but, you know, the ball has been messing around your backline. Right? The Baptiste is killing the ball. That's why you don't get healed here. You're also around the corner, right? Mercy shouldn't have broken heal beam there, but like that's like a very minor mistake compared to you just staying way the heck out here. And the Mercy dies trying to res you because like obviously they need the res to try to win this fight. Your team amazingly manages to hold this without you or the Mercy, which is very lucky. That's what I'm saying. I feel like your team is a lot better than their team. Like this game feels like a relatively easy win if you just stay alive. Again, bad sleep, right? Like, what's this, or bad shield, right? What's the shield for? Just to block sleep? I don't even know that you knew that sleep was coming. But even then, like, if you get slept here, no big deal, right? The Bastion's not out yet, who cares? Like, you'd be awake, you'd be fine. Yeah, I think great idea to think about the sleep here. You almost got booped into the pit. So everything's gonna kind of go poorly. So the ball's gonna get back here, but the thing is, you can't stop the ball. Like, there's just no way. The ball has way too much health plus adaptive shield. There's just nothing. Like, you punching here is a waste of time. Instead, you need to be holding this corner, forcing the other 4 people from not advancing. But because you keep pulling back, right? And I know that Bastion ulti's happening, right? But like, what are you gonna do about it? Like, you throw a shield down, that's it. Okay, and even then, there's like a big risk as to whether or not your shield's gonna be in the right spot at the right time. I think that you have to be holding this corner and then popping Annihilation with some hope of slowing down the rest of the team. Alright, now you pop Annihilation, but, like, you know, you're just gonna get shredded. Okay, so let's kind of reset. It's funny, again, like you say, your Winston's incredibly bad. I mean, other than you messing around with the Rein, I think your Winston looked like your best hero by far. I feel like you look totally lost on Sigma and on Ramattra. Like, you got so little value. Like, even playing against Pharah, I think your Winston, or against Bastion, I think your Winston would have gotten you more value than your Ramattra did. I think your Ramattra was like near useless. Anyway, breaking this down, I think number one, just you need to be more patient overall in your gameplay, right? Just rushing everything, not looking at player numbers. Are we up? Are we down? What to do? Where to go? When to go? I think there's a lot there that I think you can improve at. I will link you my tank gameplay guides because I think they will actually be quite helpful for you. Because watching your play, like I think you have the mechanics to do it, but I don't think you have the game sense to be able to know like what the reads are, which is again very surprising because you're in Masters. Like I have no idea how this does not look like a low Masters tank game to me, right? I think that I would be surprised to see that this is a low Diamond. This feels like plat level to me play. But I mean, obviously you're in Masters for a reason, so I don't know if like you're actually super godly on Sigma on other maps or whatever it is, but this game did not look anywhere close to being Masters level. Anyway, so we talked about attitude towards the game, just having more patience. I think that obviously keeping track, basic stuff like keeping track of numbers up or down is really important. And then just overextending a lot and recognizing how your positioning changes based on the opposing heroes. Like Bastion really punishes tanks who don't play cover. Right? You have to play cover. Absolutely have to play cover. Especially if you're playing tanks that don't have any way to mitigate damage, like D.Va or Sigma. Winston. So for Winston, don't let Rein hit you. Probably number one. Beyond that, I mean, I think that you need to be more try to avoid using bubbles defensively for you or your team as much as possible, right? Only use bubbles as much as possible when you are aggressing the opposing team. When you dive in, then use bubble to stay in the fight longer and zap more. When you're jumping away and you're like, oh no, I'm going to die, pop bubble, like, yeah, you should do it rather than dying, but that represents the fact that you made a mistake to get that low to begin with. I think the biggest problem were your primal rages, which are almost universally useless. Like, I don't even care. Like, some of them you could have gotten like 3 kills with it, but if it doesn't happen the right time, who cares? It doesn't matter. Like, the cart has to move anyway. You already capped the point. Like, it doesn't do anything. You just wasted an ultimate. Oh, feeding ult charge. Huge one on Winston. You feeded so much ult charge to the enemy. It was like absolutely crazy. It was like an ult bonanza. Okay, next one is talking about Zarya. So I think the Zarya play was okay. I think grabs were better than Primal Rage for sure. I think that you were overextended and died to the Bastion more than anything else. And I think your bubble management could be better. But I think overextending was like the number one reason why you ended up losing space as Zarya. Oh, also playing Zarya into a bad comp. That's also very relevant, right? We're playing against the Ball plus the Bastion plus the Pharah. You just couldn't do anything. You couldn't slow them down, right? You couldn't force 2 fights per point, which should be the gold standard. Like, that was really rough. You just couldn't hold any space as Zarya whatsoever. And then finally on Ramattra, everything looks wrong on Ramattra. I like overextending, bad shields, vortexes don't necessarily get you a lot of value. You're not piping annihilations at the right time. It's very hard for me to just pin down like one thing on Ramattra. You know, like stepping up here, that moment where you decide to step forward, it feels crazy to me. You know, not shielding in time. It's really tough here, and like this happened on offense too, where I think you're gonna go Ramattra here, but like you're not getting enough value out of Nemesis form, right? Not able to push them back enough because you're not popping at the right time. You're like super low when you pop Nemesis, which is not a great idea because now you can't walk at them. Yeah, lots of problems across the board. Okay, I'm gonna hold there. Hopefully this is helpful.